Clean up on aisle 5.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the post-show live chat where we're going to be talking about everything that just went down in the Bachelor premiere with Matt James, including the latest preview with a few surprise entrances there. Not just new women, but Heather from Colton season. Wow. So, a lot to talk about. A pretty great start to the new year with a new season of The Bachelor with Matt James, never before seen. A lot of new women. Some bold entrances, and Queen Victoria. Wow. Special gal. Producer pick, by the way. Producer pick. And John already with the super chat. Thanks for the super chat. My favorites so far are definitely Abigail, Bree, and Rachel. Dildo Girl was weird, but funny though, I guess. Yeah, no, bold, I guess, is the word, but I don't expect her to go very far. Rachel was a big surprise for me this episode. She'd been in the previews a little bit, but she got a few segments. Where it was some private time just with her. You know? She got a really good edit this episode. So, pretty big surprise there. Before we get into the episode or the live chat and talking about the episode, few rules. Number 1, sleuthing spoilers only in the chat, please, which includes any posts from official sources like Chris Harrison or the producers, any of their Twitter pages, anything like that, the official Bachelor or Bachelorette Twitter page. As well, we got a couple of super chats already coming in. I'm going to do my best to answer as many questions as possible, but super chats will get priority. And last but not least, be kind to each other. That's all I ask. Be kind to everyone else in chat. And Asiya, thank you again for the super chat. I noticed consistently here in the stream. What did you think of Vibrator Girl? That was so funny. Not that she poked that girl in the arm with that thing, though. Yeah. My thought is I'm just praying that YouTube doesn't demonetize my video. But Vibrator Girl, look. She's there. She'll be there for a little bit, but she has no real shot. That's my view on Vibrator Girl. We've gotten nothing from her from the previews to indicate that she's going to go super far. Nothing to indicate that she's even on a one-on-one at some point. Maybe she will be, but she's in some date shots. Like there's a shot of her going, "Oh yeah," in the preview where she's with Matt, and that looks like some sort of I don't know, play or theater or Shakespearean group date. We've seen that before, but we'll see her bow out at some point midway through the season, I'm guessing. Though she did get a few shots in the previews, but they were low value shots. They got there was another one with her on a skateboard, but means nothing. And Abigail, my favorites are Chelsea, Rachel, Abigail, and Kayla. Yeah, those are pretty good. Abigail, okay. Let me be upfront about Abigail. First impression rose is typically a bad thing on the show. Think about I don't know if there's ever been a first impression rose recipient that's won, other than you could say in Peter's season, Hannah Ann, got proposed to, but that was a disaster. Other than that, there's Sean Lowe's season, and he gave out like a ton. He gave out more than one rose early on. And his eventual winner didn't get the first of those roses. Also, Abigail, I haven't seen her anywhere in the previews. Honestly, you know, as far as I can tell, she's been absent from the previews. No one-on-one shots. So, I as much as I liked her this episode, maybe the reason she got some screen time is because she got the first impression rose. And I was looking to see if there was anything more in the new preview that showed more Abigail, but I think there are just a number of other women who have much more presence in the preview. And Rachel, thank you so much for the super chat. Heather coming was because she is close to Hannah. Really? Well, I guess we're going to get the whole story from Heather next week. I was not expecting Heather. I don't know. I didn't know any tea or anything of like a connection between Heather and Matt, but I guess if she, like, because obviously Matt is friends with Tyler C, and they had that whole like quarantine crew thing going on. And so I guess maybe if she's like connected to Hannah, then she would know Matt, and maybe there's a connection there. We'll see. I have I guess it's a bit of a wild card, but I have a very low expectations for Heather's entrance. That's my impression. And I feel like if Heather came in and made a big splash and like won the season or something like that, or won Matt's heart, I guess I should say, I think the preview would have been different. The preview was more about Heather, I guess, like a dramatic entrance than it was about her being a presence. Like, in contrast to Nick on Caitlyn's season, where it was more like this guy comes in and causes a stir with all the other men, and there's drama because this guy is actually connected with the lead. I think Heather, I don't know, that's my impression. So, but I'm another thing. New women. Speaking of someone said, "Do you have a top 4 yet?" I'm going to put in a top 4 and a top pick. One of them is going to include someone not from this episode, because we have new women coming in. If you've watched my videos, you'll know who I'm talking about. But there's new. It's a strange thing to sleuth out, because we don't know if a new woman's gonna come in, have a completely different edit, and take over the season. There's one woman in particular that I'm looking at for next episode or whenever it is. Like, I don't know. I'm guessing, I'm hoping it's next episode, because the earlier the better. But I can't imagine it being more than 2 episodes from now. But it's Michelle. I've talked about her in my previews. She's very present in all the previews, including when they hadn't announced that more women were coming in. I don't know about the other gals, but we'll see if any edits sort of change. Another person who had a really good edit this episode, who was in the previews, but I didn't know how they'd be doing, Rachel. 2 separate segments with Rachel. One-on-one time. And that whole prayer thing, after the prayer, they focused in on Rachel not just for like a sentence or 2 sentences where she was like, that was beautiful, and they could have cut to like 3 other different women saying the same thing. They focused in on her for I don't know, a good like few minutes. And I wondered at that point, is she going to do well, or is she going to get the first impression rose? So I'm not putting her high up, but she's on my radar. So that was someone. Bree as well, fantastic edit, and didn't get the first impression rose. But Bree is someone who I've also had my eye on from the previews. So we'll see. And I'm definitely going to do in my next recap video a final 4 and a pick. And I guess maybe I'll slot it. I'll do a tentative 3 and 2 as well. But there's it's a bit of a strange situation with the new women coming in next episode. I still think we have a lot to go off of, but I don't know what the preview is going to be like when the new women come in, because for all we know, they've been holding back on some footage. So it could change after that preview. This is not a typical... I mean, they do this in the past, but this is not typical. And Kaleidosaurus X, thank you so much for the super chat. Thoughts on the ages of everyone? I got so used to maturity and non-child aged contestants with Tay. Feel like I'm going to be missing that this season. Yeah, young. There's some young women. 21, 22, a few. Is it weird to say that, like, I'm just kind of used to it, you know? It's like I expect it at this point, even though we had a season with Tay and Claire where the age was, the age ranges were much higher. I'm kind of like, okay, we're mostly back to normal, and I wasn't surprised, so I just kind of am like, yeah, okay, we're back at it. So I was surprised they didn't round it out a bit, because I imagine, well, I guess maybe Paradise is so far away. You know what? Never mind. I was gonna say I was surprised they didn't round it out a bit, because with Paradise they're gonna want to bring men from Tayshia's season and have potential matches, I guess, in the possibility of same aged, but we've got a whole Bachelorette season ahead of us, so maybe they're gonna reset again. And Alicia, thank you for the super chat. Who wore the red dress? Yeah, there was Anna, and honestly, I can't even remember. Let me get my cheat sheet out. The names of all the for someone who watches a lot of these previews, I still need a cheat sheet to remember people's names. And it's another A name too. Alana and Anna. And they even had the like mix up where Matt called out one's name. Honestly, I didn't think Alana was gonna get a rose. That was my surprise for this episode. I mean, we know like they were doing the whole like who's gonna get a rose, who's not gonna get a rose. We've seen Anna in the previews. We've seen Victoria in the previews. A few other women. So, no surprise. I can't remember if I'd seen Alana, so I thought she was going to go. And Abigail, again, thank you for the super chat. What do you think about Matt saying the prayer? I'm not opposed to a prayer. You know? I guess, like, he's the Bachelor. If that's important to him, you know, maybe it's a smart thing to do. If it's that important to him, then he should do it, right? And then he can understand who also shares the same. Like if that's a non-negotiable for him, you know, then he should do that. Now he's the Bachelor. He's looking for his partner. As long as he's doing it in earnest, you know, I'm cool with it. People being genuine is what this show's all about. What I think this show should be all about. You know? And Rita, thank you for the super chat. Just want to say thanks for the videos and the recap. I know it's not easy to put this together, but you're always spot on. Thank you so much for the support and for being a part of the chat. Really appreciate it. I really do. Honestly, it's awesome. So thank you, Rita. Thank you, everyone else. Thank you, and also anyone who's just here and chatting, talking with other people too. It's awesome. We have a whole nother season ahead of us. After so much non-season, and then we've got Tay and Matt's season now. So, yeah, serious eye roll about Queen Victoria. Yeah, absolutely. They always say, you know, you never know what goes on behind the scenes, the footage, the conversations you don't see. But every year, every time, there's a producer pick. And that was for sure a producer pick. You know? And I don't know what the behind the scenes scenario is with all the, you know, production and producer stuff. I mean, you read about it in books, but there's a certain point where you have to play ball with the producers, I guess. You know? I don't know if it's in contracts or whatever, but it always seems to happen. That's a producer pick. For sure. And let me tell you, like, if you haven't seen all the previews, it only gets messier with Queen Victoria. It only gets messier. Expect it. We'll see it. I got tired of Queen Victoria just after the previews alone. So, I can't wait for the season. Can't wait for it. And Katie Schneider, thank you for the super chat. No message. If you meant to put a message at one of my mods, Think Story or someone, or at me. But otherwise, thank you for the support. Thank you for the super chat. Really appreciate it. Will Hannah B get a cameo this season? No. No, I think those days are behind us. But do you think Tyler C will cameo? I think that there's probably a good chance of that. Like unless Tyler C would probably have to have had some sort of major obligation for him to not be a part of this season, because he's so close with Matt. They posted like a YouTube video today together. If Tyler C got the opportunity, he would do it. Yeah, at hometowns. Yeah, maybe it's not till later down the line. Maybe Tyler C's there for the final two or something. But gotta imagine he'll be there. I think like it, Tyler would want to do it, Matt would want him to do it, and the show would want him to do it. So gotta imagine. Bringing in Tyler C like JoJo. And Julie, thank you so much for the super chat. Who all went home tonight? All right, let me go through my cheat sheet. Amber and Alicia. Alicia was the ballerina. Amber was... Did I miss... She was supposedly the person who meowed at Matt. According to Chris Harrison's live stream, she said she was... she said, like, instead of saying excuse me, she said meow. Her whole thing was that she didn't get time with Matt in the edit that I saw. Did I miss that? I don't know. Carolyn, she went home as well. Gosh, I can't even... Oh my god, I can't even remember. It goes by so quickly. Oh man. Goatfoot Lady. Goatfoot Lady went. Santa. And I can't remember. Kimberly, who had the fish. She went. Was it Amani? Yeah, I think Amani went. Gosh, I don't even know. And there's a couple, maybe... I can't remember if Cassandra or Corinne got one. It's too difficult to remember. You know what? Check the recap, and I'll have it for you. And Kaleidosaurus, thank you for the super chat. Would you give your first impression rose to Matt? How do you think he did at night one? I think he did very well. I mean, he seems pretty honest. We'll see how it lasts. We'll see how, there's always room for disaster. But I say that because I almost expect it half the time. And I don't know. He seemed pretty genuine so far. I'm ready to give him a chance. I'm ready to see where this goes. So I've got high hopes for him. I know he's talked about not being in love before, but I'd say so far he hasn't ruined it, so I'll give him my first impression rose for now. We'll see if it lasts. And Abigail, again, thank you so much for the super chat. Do you think Matt ends up engaged at the end? I always go into a season expecting it because I know that the powers that be and the producers... like that's the ideal scenario. So, if everything goes to a normal degree, they will kind of, start putting that into motion. But that being said, if you've seen my preview, I don't know, something just rubbing me the wrong way a little bit with the preview proposal stuff. Seemed a little planted. I could be wrong. I have no real evidence other than the fact that there was no Neil Lane logo in his ring box. But I don't know. We'll see. Call me cautiously guarded. I've been spurned before. They faked Colton's final rose ceremony in the previews. That got me, so I'm cautiously guarded about it. And Linda, thank you so much for the super chat. Love your channel. Thank you for the support. Really appreciate it. Thank you for being a part of the chat. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. And Isabel, thank you so much for the super chat. Kit is low-key more villainous than Victoria, in my opinion. Yeah, well, she's got a little bit more to go in the season. We've seen her a couple more times in the previews. There's potentially a one-on-one date with her. It could be with Sarah, but it kind of looks like Kit as well. And there's definitely some I don't know, group date sort of footage of her. So I don't expect her to go very far, but I expect her to be around for a few more episodes. But, you know, socialite thing. She's 21. I just don't think it's a match. She's the daughter of a fashion designer. So, Sarah is my cousin. Wow. Is it weird watching your cousin on the show? I'll tell you one thing. I don't know, you tell me. Maybe you've talked to Sarah. She's crying a lot in the previews. And like from what Chris Harrison said, her and Matt, you know, hit it off early. Things dwindle a bit. And she's crying a lot in the previews. And she's crying with Matt. So. Yeah. Yeah, usually Jackson, my dog Jackson, hangs out right about here. He got a little bit bored. Why is Heather back? Who knows? For love. To be kissed again. For the second time. That's the only thing I can think of. You wonder if she was invited back. If maybe one person was saying that, you know, she's friends with Hannah and Hannah was friends with Matt. Maybe they know each other. So. Maybe there's something like that. And someone's saying, did they date before? I think there's one person who shows up who did date Matt, unless she's not a part of the group. There was a woman who dated Matt for a little bit, who was part of the cast list. And didn't show up on night one, or wasn't a part of the live stream either. So, yeah, Heather was from that guy's season. You know, that guy. Redacted. And she shows up. I don't know if it was something arranged because she potentially knows Matt through Hannah or whatever, or if it was producer arranged because it's going to cause a stir. I just don't believe she's going to go far. And it all comes down to how they edited her little segment there versus what we've already seen in the previews from other women. So even if she does stay around, I don't think it's going to be for long. Otherwise, you know, if she was a final pick, they would have made or if she was even like top 2, top 3, top 4, they would have made a bigger deal out of it in the promo. So, I know, Heather, if anyone wants the tea, go for it. Go for it. Thoughts on Abigail? Totally cute. Totally cute little segment with her and Matt there. I think she seems very sweet. I stan Abigail. Don't think she has a chance. I only say this because she's just not present in the previews at all. I can't spot her in the previews really, and usually the first impression rose on The Bachelor, not on The Bachelorette, leads to nothing good. So, unfortunately, I don't think Abigail's. And also on top of that, there are at least 4 women who I think have stronger edits, stronger presence in the previews, and so I just you can't. I just can't with Abigail. I can't put her in a top 4. I was hoping, thinking maybe she'll be in the newest preview more. And who knows, maybe things will change next week when the new women come in and we get another preview. But for now, I just have nothing to say about Abigail because there's nothing shown of her other than this episode. Do you think Katie is getting... thank you, Katie. Do you think Katie is getting the JPJ edit this season? Seems funny, not too serious as an option, but fun to watch. JPJ edit? We'll see. We'll see about the JPJ edit. She's definitely a non-threat. I personally think she has no chance. She's obviously going to be around at least, medium amount in the season because we've seen some footage. We've seen her on a few group dates. We've seen her in some in-the-moment interviews. But mostly it's drama and or just nothing too romantic. And it is possible that there's a sort of Hannah Ann type of edit that goes on because Hannah Ann did get a kind of villain edit night 1 and that can change. So it's possible for Katie. That being said, I just don't see it. Just don't see it. But as far as I can tell, there are just women who have a stronger presence in the previews and have gotten good edits. At the end of the day, it's a math game, there can only be 4 in the, top 4. There can only be 6 in the top 6. So you just have to go with the numbers here. And when you pull out 4 or 6 women who just have such strong presence and such importance to the storyline of the season or, multiple one-on-one dates, which usually means they make it that far, you have to go with those over the people who are kind of getting, fun edits or dramatic edits or, whatever. Anybody for Bachelorette edit? Interesting. So typically, I would say anyone who is, in that final 4 area is most likely going to be Bachelorette. That's usually how it goes. It can be top 6 as well. I don't know. Maybe here's what I'm wondering. Maybe Rachel. This is what I'm thinking because I think Rachel had a great edit this episode. And it a little bit, I wasn't expecting it that much. I know she was a bit in the previews, but not in the same way as other women. Like we've seen Michelle, who's going to come in the next or the episode after with the new women. We've seen Bree, good edit as well. But I think maybe Bree's a more serious pick for Matt, in my opinion, right now. And Rachel had the whole, like, the prayer thing, the segment sitting down with Matt. I'm just like, if she slots into like a top 4 spot, then she might be a early Bachelorette pick. I'm just kind of like riffing here, but that's like, I'm looking at my sort of early cheat. We also don't know. We could see a Bachelorette come in next or the episode after or whenever they bring in the new women. I'm hoping because they showed it in the preview that means it's next episode, so we can like get to that as quick as possible. It's possible a Bachelorette could be in that group. It's possible the final pick could be in that group. I think there's at least one woman who has potential to be a final rose pick in that group. But yeah, no, maybe that's an early possibility. There's also like, it could be anyone from a top 4 scenario. So don't take that to the bank. You know? Yeah, and Abigail, yeah, sorry, like Abigail again, someone say, not in the previews, not that I saw. There have been like, I think there at least 3 significant, and I mean more than like 30-second previews that have come out for this season. And I did like a first look preview. I did the super teaser preview that came out during Tayshia's season that was like a minute of Tayshia and then 2 minutes of Matt. And then they did a 3-minute and 30-second preview for the season at the end of Tayshia's season. And just Abigail, not a part of it. Not a part of any of it. If she was a part of it, she's either in the background or she's like hidden from view. And there were so many other significant one-on-one shots, women who are in multiple shots, multiple potential one-on-ones, that just, it's just no comparison. Right? So that's sort of what I'm thinking. Why do you think they're bringing in new women? For drama, for hype, I guess. I don't know. Maybe they just, like Chris Harrison said, had a whole slew of applicants. Maybe they brought in a whole bunch of extra women because it's safer that way in case some test positive. And the more you have, the more likely you're going to end up with that 30 plus mark cast of ladies. And then none of them were testing positive and they were all quarantining well. And they decided, screw it, let's just throw them in. Add more drama. You know? So, why not? It always causes a stir every season that it happens, which is like, seasons of this show in the past, other editions of The Bachelor or Bachelorette from like Australian versions and stuff like that. It always causes a stir, so I mean, it caused a stir in Tayshia's season. Why not? So, yeah, people are talking break. Yeah, Peter and Kelly broken up. Carly and Evan as well. I was a little more devastated by the Carly and Evan one. You know, from Bachelor in Paradise, they had children and all that, so it was really sad. What about Carly and Evan? Oh no. Oh no. She doesn't know. So, Summer Games would be fun. We'll see if they're planning it. They were planning on doing Bachelor Summer Games like they did Bachelor Winter Games. We'll see if there's too much on their plate for that. Because if they're doing bubbles still, it's harder for Chris Harrison. With them, they are planning Paradise, by the way. And with Bachelorette wrapping up, there's only so much traveling like Chris Harrison and the crew can do if they're doing bubbles and stuff. That's even if the Summer Olympics happen. Yeah, Ashley and JP too. Oh yeah, all the breakups. They secured a location for Bachelorette 17. Is that a question mark or a period? Like they did or have they? I'm sure they have. They had all in mind. They've got lots of time to plan. What I'm more curious is have they secured or do they have an idea of where they're going to go for Paradise? Are they thinking, can they go to Mexico again? Or are they going to find a beach in America somewhere? How is Barb doing right now? Someone's asking the real questions. Oh, it was said in an interview? Oh, excellent. Okay, yeah. No, totally makes sense. I would imagine they're not joking around. They know the deal. They're not going to let a season slip through their fingers. So that does not surprise me that they've already got a location. And they've now had 2 seasons that they've completed successfully. I mean, I'm guessing, but I think if this season ended in disaster, we would have probably heard. So, oh no, what if Peter's on Paradise? Don't manifest that into the universe. No, there's no way. Right? Right? Oh gosh, that sounds like something Peter would do. No, never mind. No, we're moving on. An actual island. Yes. A literal bubble. So, but Paradise is going to be too jam-packed for Peter. Sorry. I'm putting that in the universe. There are going to be too many people from Tayshia's season, from Matt's season, from The Bachelorette. That's just what I'm saying. So not enough room. Sorry. They must have. Yeah. No. No. I think. Oh gosh, I hate that I'm saying this. I think that if Peter approached them about doing Paradise, that they would heavily consider it. Just because it would be dramatic. It would be a bachelor literally in Paradise. And it would get people talking. And that's the scary thing. Then they get some women from his season on there. And I don't know. Unless someone was specifically interested in Peter, it could be a quick oust. But Oof. Not interested. Who do you think the next Bachelor will be? If I had to place money on it, it would be someone from the next Bachelorette season. The only way someone from a past season gets it is if someone from that season doesn't step up as a fan favorite. So someone from that season. And then if no one steps up from that season, it'll be then probably someone from Paradise. Which will probably be someone from Tayshia's season. Because I think there were a lot of good choices from that season. People that were liked from that season who will show up in Paradise, and then they'll it's a easy segue from someone ready for love in Paradise, and they don't find love in Paradise, fresh in people's minds, right into Bachelor. That it happened with Nick. It happened with Redacted. It could happen with, Ben or Ivan. Absolutely. Could happen with Hand Crusher guy. Totally see it. What about Dr. Joe? I don't trust the Bachelor people to do that. But if there's enough outcry, and if he's in Paradise and he has the right storyline, I would love to see it. But it's gonna, I hate saying this, but it's gonna require people being vocal about it. It's gonna require that. It sucks. And I'm for it. But that's the sad sort of reality I feel. But, I also feel like the Bachelor people have shown that they're willing to listen. So, Easy, people talking about Easy, they cut Easy, after all the allegations, after the internal investigations, after a woman brought up allegations of sexual abuse. Easy, they cut Easy. Obviously, Easy was a part of Tayshia's season. He got a one-on-one, and that was a thing that happened in that season, so they showed it. Sort of like if you watch RuPaul's Drag Race, there was a contestant who had these allegations come out and was a part of that season, and they showed the parts where, if that person won a challenge, they would show it, but otherwise they cut her from the season. So I imagine it's a similar sort of situation, or they just decided, they just cut ties. Cut ties. Who are you excited to see in Paradise? Goat foot lady. Goat foot lady. I want to see those goat feet in Paradise. There's always one or two night one elimination people. Goat foot lady. What's goat foot lady? You will be missed. What is her name? It's Goatfoot Lady. She's the goat. Is Chris truly leaving the show? Are we talking about Chris Harrison moving to Texas? No. There's no way. He's moving to Texas to be closer to his son who's going to university there, is my guess. If Chris Harrison were leaving, what I imagine they would do is they would announce a host for the Bachelorette. And it would be, I don't know, they would do something like that. And he would slowly step down. He would do The Bachelor and maybe Paradise, and then it would be a gradual process, is my guess. So that is my guess. Chris Harrison's not done. Chris Harrison, he has the fountain of youth. He's using all of these contestants into Instagram followers to gain eternal life. He's got at least another 70 to 150 years of the show in him. Don't expect him to be gone anytime soon. Who will be the next Chris Harrison? Obviously they've flirted with JoJo and Wells as potential hosts. I don't know. I think we're a far cry away from knowing who that would be. Even though JoJo and Wells have kind of done sort of hosty things in the past. Me, I will do it. I'm doing it. We're in contract negotiations right now. No. It's happening. They're paying me in champagne and roses. So it's a great deal. Yeah. Yeah. New Chris. New Chris, who dis? Okay, it's getting late. It's getting late, all right? We're coming to the end of the stream. The jokes are getting weirder, so you know the drill. It's time to get up. We're going to be talking about tomorrow. We're going to be going to the recap. It's going to be great. And we're going to talk about I'm going to dish on my top 4 and my top pick right now. I'm pretty confident already, and I feel like I knew who I was going to pick for now as the top pick, or at least I've got top 2 I'm kind of deciding between. But that being said, that could change the week after. It could change the week after. I just want to put that out there that there could be a preview that could blow a lot of stuff away after the new women are thrown in there. I don't know. This is sort of new territory. But for now, I feel like I have a top 4 pick. I feel like most people who have either watched my previews before or listened to this live stream won't be too surprised. I don't think there's going to be any Goatfoot Lady is out, so I don't know what to do. No, there's no surprises. I'm not going to throw out a final pick, Ileana. Who? No, it's not going to happen. Sorry. Spoiler alert. So, if you've got any last second questions, get them in now. Got a couple minutes, and then it's beauty sleep for me, early morning dog walks, and recap. That's the plan. Goat foot lady comes back. Damn it! You figured out. You figured it out. Yeah, it's Alana. Surprise, surprise. Kit versus Victoria thoughts? I would say Kit lasts longer. Kit lasts longer. If I had to pick between the two. I think Victoria is going to be this, like, drama queen. And, I mean, I think she's got a good 3 episodes in her. And then, oof. Where is the hotel? It's in Pennsylvania. It's in Pennsylvania. So, I want Sana's goat foot shoes. I know, me too. Big brain move right there, by the way. Most comfortable feet of the night. So, how much say do you think producers have in who gets 0 time on night 1? Enough say. I think it can be sort of influenced. Obviously, from what I've heard, Matt really decides, he makes the final decision. Obviously there is producer influence in there. I think Matt, he's the one who says the words. If they are really pushing for someone, at the end of the day, he could say screw you and do this or that, but definitely they have, and they have ways of controlling things that aren't contract obligations or forcing someone to do things or whatever. Also, last note before we go. Kaylee, the lingerie lady. There were discussions of who was it? It was Savannah. Savannah from Peter season was asked to do the same thing. To come out in her lingerie and ask Peter what dress he wanted her to wear that night. And she said she wasn't going to do it. According to her. But obviously we've seen that here tonight. So, producer influence? Yep. According to Savannah, allegedly, it's also the reason why there was that pillow fight date. They gave Savannah the grandma pajamas because she didn't do that. According to Savannah. So, there you go. That is the last bit of tea for the night. And it's time to head off to bed. Thank you all for joining me, for chatting, talking, super chatting, all of the above. Night 1 is done. We've got a whole season ahead of us to get us through this winter. Have a great night, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow for the recap, then for the preview breakdown, and then next week, it's right back at it. And until then, Bachelor Fan Take out.